Welcome to the Ocean Celebration opening ceremony 2023. I'm Chan, honored to be your MC today. Today, we Negaraku, followed by the state anthem, Sabah Tanah Airku. Thank you. Please be seated. Before we proceed further, we will now have a Doa recitation by Dr. Fikri Akmal Kotzori.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let us start by reciting with Kitab Al-Fatiha. Amin 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 ya rabbal alamin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wal aqibatu lil muttaqin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Peace be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who followed his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the Ocean Celebration 2023, we grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us to live in a safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless till the end. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, Ya Munzil al-Barakah, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide Universiti Malaysia Sabah to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual, granted us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mardatillah. Make us your righteous servant that followed your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana haza jam'a marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dih tafarruqa ma'suma wa la taj'al fina wa la ma'ana shakiya wa la mahruma. Rabbana alayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anabna wa ilayka al-masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Dr. Fikri. Moving on with today's ceremony, please welcome Dr. Chong Wei Sheng, the Director of Ocean Celebration 2023, to present his welcoming speech. Please welcome.
Yang Berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Ijira Saleh, representative of the Director of PMRI, Dr. Fui Ching Ching, as our Deputy Director of PMRI, our collaborators of Ocean Celebration 2023, Rakan Aquaculture, Youth Science UMS, Mariners Club, and Aquarius Club. Distinguished guests, lecturers, supporting staff, and students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. 大家早上好. And Salam Malaysia Madani. Today, I stand before you with great joy as we gather here to launch Ocean Celebration 2023. A meaningful event where we come together to celebrate World Oceans Day, Coral Triangle Day, and World Sea Turtle Day. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, we have set two main objectives in organizing this Ocean Celebration program. Firstly, to raise awareness about the significance of the oceans, which cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. Secondly, this program to serve a global mechanism uniting the general public, government bodies, and private organizations in a series of events aimed at protecting and conserving our precious oceans. To fulfill these objectives at the UMS level, each activity has been meticulously designed to align with the 5 Coral Triangle Initiative goals or CTI goals, which are goal number 1, priority seascape designated and effective managed. Goal number 2, ecosystem approach to the management of fisheries and other marine resources. Goal number 3, marine protected areas established and effectively managed. Goal number 4, climate change adaptation measures achieved. And goal number 5, threatened species status improving. The Ocean Celebration 2023 committees involve dedicated members, include academic and supporting staff from various faculties, academies, center, and institutes, alongside undergraduate, marine science, and aquaculture, and our postgrad students. This diverse involvement aims to promote the spirit of cooperation, tolerance, and embrace the principles of sustainability or rukun kemampanan within the broader framework of our government policy Kerajaan Perpaduan of Malaysia Madani. Sustainable efforts, for your information, need a sense of togetherness, collectiveness, and continuity from the organizing committee and all layers of society participating in this program. It is our collective responsibility to show respect and love for fellow humans and the environment in all our activities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ocean Celebration Program serves a platform for UMS to develop the potential of our human capital in contributing to the development of Sabah, aligning with the direction of Sabah Maju Jaya while preserving the Earth's resources for present and future generations. We hope that the outcomes of the program will contribute to Malaysia's support of Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water, as presented by the United Nations. Our collective effort will focus on the well-being of humanity and the Earth, striving to achieve sustainable development by 2030. In conclusion, I invite each and every of you to immerse yourself in a multitude of exciting events and experiences during this Ocean Celebration 2023. Together, we are strong. Together, we can protect our ocean. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Chong, for the speech earlier. Next, please welcome Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Ishra Saleh, representing the Director of Borneo Marine Research Institute, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, to present her officiating speech. Please welcome.
Thank you, MC, for the good introduction. Yang berusaha, Deputy Director of Borneo Marine Research Institute, Research and Innovation, Doctors, Professor Madya, Dr. Faihana Ching. Thanks for your time. I know you have meeting today, but you take your opportunity to be with us, to support us for this event. Yang berusaha, Dr. Chong Wiseng, thank you very much for the good alu-aluan, good speech earlier to introduce our program. And as we know that he is organizing chairperson for Ocean Celebration 2023. Also, I would like to acknowledge our collaborators of Ocean Celebration 2023, lecturers of Borneo Marine Research Institute who are here today and also watching live, participants and all students. Thank you for your support. Warm regards, warm greetings, and Salam Malaysia Madani, Salam Sabah Maju Jaya to all been mentioned earlier. And here, I stand here on behalf of our Director of Borneo Marine Research Institute, Associate Prof. Dr. Siti Rehana. She is unable to join us today, but she sends us her best regards. And she is actually preparing to depart to the Holy Land to perform Hajj. So, we pray together for her safe trip and safe return as well. So, on behalf of the Borneo Marine Research Institute, it is I read her 3 pages speech, but not that long, don't worry. So, she said that it is my pleasure to be given an opportunity to say a few words at the launching of Ocean Celebration 2023. We come together to celebrate World Ocean Day, Coral Triangle Day, and World Sea Turtle Day. This is all fall in June. So June is our celebration as a marine science and also aquaculture. Student, lecturer, and whoever working at sea. Okay. This year's Ocean Celebration is co-organized by the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change and the Coral Triangle Initiative Malaysia in collaboration with Lakan Aquaculture, U Science, Mariners Club and Aquarius Universiti Malaysia Sabah. So I hope all of the students here are member of the club. Yes, good. So be active and be part of this ocean celebration. Okay, so ocean celebration is given much of importance as our institute, and we work hard to raise awareness about how important oceans are in our daily lives, as they provide us with many things we need, like food and resources. However, our oceans are impacted by anthropogenic activities and climate change. We can see signs of stress on our ocean ecosystem, and these are cause of concern that the resources and services that ocean provide us could be disturbed. In this year's ocean celebration, we have adopted the theme of the World Ocean Days 2023 in our program, which is the planet ocean. The tides are changing. It's provide us with an opportunity to come together as community to raise awareness and to inspire change. Most importantly, it is not just a one-day event, but a catalyst for continuous action. This year's ocean celebration we run from 6 to 15 June 2023, and activities began with a program of blue carbon, seagrass awareness and monitoring on 6 to 7 June at Borneo Marine Research Institute and Kampung Kibagu, which ended yesterday. We had good experience yesterday. I just want to share a little bit. It's related with the theme, the tides are changing. We base on the tides for the monitoring program and the tides from the book. But we noticed that online tides was slightly high value than the stated in the book. Book, I mean, is the tide table provided by Royal Malaysian Navy. So we can see, even from the experience, we already see the change of the tides. Yeah. So other activities that will follow after today's event include: first, an open day at Borneo Marine Research Institute with various activities such as games, awareness talks, exhibition, mini experiments for kids, eco ride, cruise around Sepanggar and Likas Bay, and many more. Second, international webinar on marine protected area effectiveness assessment. Third, aquaculture talk and engagement with community. Last but not least, a roundtable discussion on marine research in Sabah and invited speakers that will deliver talks on Sabah's marine wildlife and effects of El Nino on local climates. So I'm looking forward to see that how far climate change impacting us. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and all of us here, before I conclude, I would like to thank all of you for your participation in this event today. I would also like to thank the staff, students of Borneo Marine Research Institute, Faculty of Science and Natural Resources, especially members of the organizing committee for their hands and also hard works in ensuring the success of this program. Together, we can create a wave of change that will protect our ocean for future generation. Happy Ocean Celebration to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siti Raihana and also Dr. Ijai for the inspiring speech officially marking the beginning of our event. Now let's turn our attention to the screen for the gimmick launch prepared. Thank you for the dedications of our team in creating this gimmick video. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to capture this wonderful moment together. We would like to invite everyone to participate in a group photography session. Be excited! This is a very memorable moment. Please to move forwards for the photography session. Please to move forwards for the photography session. Students can also go up to the stage to show your face. Do not be shy, show us your handsome and beautiful faces. The first row of students on the stage, you may squat a bit so the back students can also see their faces. Oh, all right. Okay. Oh, all right, sure. Okay. Show us your greatest and biggest smile ever. Are we all set? Can everyone please move a little bit to the right side, please? A little bit to the right. That side, that side. It's okay. The front row is still empty. Come. Come down here. Don't hide your face. Come. Okay. Are we all set? Okay. Ready? Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Smile. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay. Freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Go. Okay. Next style. Ocean style. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go. Okay. Last one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Love. All right. Hey, there's a still phone. Please. Thank you, photographer. Thank you, sir. Okay, ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your cooperation. You may please be seated. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Please settle down. Feedback forms. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further, we would greatly appreciate if you could take a few moments to provide us with your feedback. This form will allow us to also record your attendance for IDP and STP points for both staff and students. You may find the form by scanning the QR display on the screen. Your feedback is invaluable to us in enhancing our future events. Alright everyone, attention to all participants. There will be food provided outside the hall. You may collect and enjoy the food for this event. Thank you. We will have a tea break for 15 minutes from now on. Please enjoy the tea and food provided. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your tea break. We will resume with our events at the time 10 a.m. Please enjoy your tea time. ask them to come back. I'll ask them to come. Test, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased that you have enjoyed your tea time. Remember, we will start our events at 10 a.m. Please do come back inside the hall. I'm sure that you would not like to miss any of these incredible moments that will go the activity next. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to be in the hall and ready for the next event that will be started on 10 a.m. sharply. Thank you.
Testing. Yes. Thank you.
Test. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to come back inside the hall. At 10 a.m. sharply, we will start our next event. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please be inside the hall to be ready for the next incredible speech. And we will start it at 10 a.m. sharply. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be 2 minutes for us to reach 10 a.m. Please remember to get back inside the hall for the next incredible events. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the next event will be started soon. Please do enter the hall once again. Thank you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the Ocean Celebration Opening Ceremony 2023. Thank you, everyone. Did you enjoy your tea time? Alright, I think you are very prepared for the upcoming event now. So without further ado, we are privileged to have esteemed speakers who will enlighten us with their wisdom and insights. Let us welcome our first speaker today, Professor Madhya Dr. Bernadette Mabel Manjanji Matsumoto, Program Coordinator of Living Lab BMRI. Dr. Manjanji Matsumoto is an associate professor and head of the Coastal Connections Living Lab at BMRI. She was also recently appointed as the chief editor of BMRI's Borneo Journal of Marine Science and Aquaculture. She teaches undergraduate fishery science subjects and currently is the lead supervisor of 3 doctorates, 2 masters, and 3 Bachelor of Science students. She is actively involved in research related to the biodiversity and conservation of marine fishes, particularly sharks and ray, in the Indo-West Pacific region for more than 20 years. She has authored and co-authored over 50 scientific, technical, and popular publications, books and chapters in books, appeared in documentary productions, and is currently served as a voluntary panel member in various scientific committees. With a wealth of knowledge and experience, she is here to share a speech on Coastal Connection Living Lab. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Mabel.
Thank you, Shan. Before I start, the the bottom last point, Endangered Marine Species Research Unit is now defunct. So I'm heading a new living lab. That's the Coastal Connections Living Lab. So please correct that. Anyway, thank you, Ms. Chan. Yang Berusaha, Dr. Irfan Chong, organizing chairperson of the Ocean Celebration 2023. Our senior admin, BMR admin have gone, but they're probably joining us online. So greetings to them as well. Collaborators of Ocean Celebration 2023, lecturers and admin staffs, and of course students. Selamat pagi dan salam Malaysia Madani. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Oops, let me just change. Oops. It's going round and round. Oops. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe someone, please, what do we do? Which one? That's why I just keep pressing up. Oh, back. Gone. Here it is. Which one? Oh, to forward. Okay, thank you. Sorry for that technical glitch. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is a great privilege for me to be here to speak about an urgent and compelling topic that holds immense significance for the sustainability of our coastal region, which is seafood security. And of course, as well as at the same time promoting the Coastal Connections Living Lab. The title of my talk is Navigating the Blue Economy, addressing seafood security through Borneo Marine Research Institute's Coastal Connections Living Lab. So as I explained earlier, I'm the head of the Coastal Connections Living Lab at Borneo Marine Research Institute. Right, as an introduction, the seas and the oceans are not only vast sources of beauty but also held great potential for economic growth while supporting the livelihoods of many. In this corner of the Coral Triangle, Sabah is blessed with many unique features of the marine ecosystem. Shown here are seascapes of Double Bay, Double Bay, Sipadan, Island Park. This arrow, I don't know if can anyone see? Those are actually not one but two turtles surfacing on the sea while we were on the boat at the Sipadan. Okay, so these are the abundance of marine turtles and other sea life is an everyday phenomenon at the area. As it is, however, we continue to hear or read reports of unsustainable practices of obtaining blue foods as a source of the people's livelihood. So blue foods is a collective term for aquatic foods such as fish, shellfish, and seaweeds. The picture at the bottom right is shows a section of the Semporna's waterfront. Semporna is also a coastal town in the same region as Double Bay and Sipadan. This is a makeshift fish market, and this building here, that's the newly constructed fish market, but at the time in 2021 when I was there, it was not yet open. So this has been on for I think several years. What I want to highlight is the same photo here. I'd like to highlight, see here. What do you see? Do you recognize them? The pavement material is actually made of broken pulverized seashells. And anyone here recognize these seashells? Belong to which group of gastropod? Okay, so I identify them as this spider conch, or locally known as kahanga. And this is what they look like, just the flesh sold. So this photo is taken from a WhatsApp group of fishermen selling fish. So this snails is edible. Yes, it is edible. But as far as I'm concerned, there are no statistics to the rate of exploitation of this fisheries resource. But nevertheless, this is evidence enough to make an assumption that the exploitation rate is at an unsustainable level. The good news is that there are ways in which we can unlock opportunities to promote sustainable fishing practices, to protect marine ecosystems, and ensure food security for generations to come. Next, a little bit on the understanding of the blue economy and the role of coastal habitats. Let us first delve into the concept of blue economy. Blue economy is a term in the economics relating to the exploitation, preservation, and regeneration of the marine environment. Unlike traditional approaches that view oceans merely as repository of resources, the blue economy approach, recognizing the intrinsic value of our oceans, fostering a balance between economic development, stated in this infographic there, the environmental sustainability, and social well-being. It emphasizes the sustainable utilization of marine resources while promoting responsible stewardship. Seafood security, the need for action. The fisheries communities, coastal fisheries communities, they face several challenges when it comes to seafood security. Overfishing, illegal unreported and unregulated fishing activities, climate change impacts, and adequate infrastructure are just a few of the challenges and issues that communities grapple with. Implementing the blue economy offers a pathway to tackle these challenges. In fact, in Malaysia, together with other ASEAN members, have resolved to enhance the resilience of coastal fisheries communities in anticipating and adapting to changes in the coastal environment, including those caused by climate change and which could adversely affect the communities in the fisheries. So this is a 2020 report which have a comprehensive report detailing the steps that these ASEAN governments or nations will take in dealing with issues of the seafood security. So the living lab approach, which is seen as a catalyst for innovation. So the concept of a living lab is based on the collaborative model between university academia, industrial partners, government agencies, and local communities. A living lab is a real-life environment, such as coastal community, where stakeholders collaboratively design, test, and implement innovative solutions. It serves as a platform for co-creation, experimentation, and learning, bringing together researchers, industry experts, policymakers, and local communities. As a co-creation approach, users can be involved in different stages of the innovation process. For each of the stages, there are a diverse set of potential methods exists that can be used to include the users and stakeholders' perspectives. To provide the best result of the living lab, involvement in all of these stages should be combined in accordance with the specific goals and goals and vision of the living lab. So later in this presentation, I will show you what are the vision of the Coastal Connections Living Lab. And thus the concept of the living lab as adopted by UMS is a promising approach for implementing the blue economy and addressing seafood security in the state. Okay, sustainable fisheries management. A cornerstone of the blue economy is the adoption of sustainable fisheries management practices. Within the living lab framework, sustainable fisheries management practices can be developed, tested, and refined in close collaboration with the fishing communities. By engaging stakeholders in participatory processes, the living lab approach allows for the co-design of fishing regulations, establishment of marine protected areas, and the implementation of responsible fishing practices. This collaborative and iterative approach ensures that management strategies are context-specific and align with the needs of the particular community. Okay, next we have aquaculture innovation. Aquaculture, as you may understand, is a fish farming, which is another fish farming activity, which is another crucial aspect of the blue economy. Responsible and sustainable aquaculture practices can supplement traditional fishing methods, reduce pressure on the wild fish stock, and provide alternative livelihood opportunities to the coastal communities. And the living lab approach also offers a fertile ground for innovation in aquaculture. So innovations such as shown in this example. By involving farmers, researchers, and technology providers, the living lab becomes a space for experimenting with sustainable aquaculture techniques. Which includes integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, offshore aquaculture, and land-based recirculating systems. And through real-life testing and feedback loops, the Living Lab helps accelerate the adoption of environmentally friendly and economically viable aquaculture practices. Promoting value chain efficiency. So efficient and inclusive value chains are essential for seafood security. Strengthening the infrastructure, improving post-harvest handling practices, and promoting fair trade can enhance the value chain from the point of capture to the consumer's plate. The Living Lab provides a platform for optimizing the value chain from harvest to consumption, and by integrating various stakeholders, including fishers, processors, distributors, and consumers, the Living Lab enables the identification of bottlenecks, the development of traceability systems, and the improvement of post-harvest handling practices. This collaborative approach ensures the value chain becomes more transparent, resilient, and socially inclusive. Next we have empowering the coastal fishing communities through the Living Lab. So at the heart of the Living Lab approach is the empowerment of coastal communities. This is involving them as active participants in decision-making processes, providing access to education, providing access to credit and insurance, training, resources. The Living Lab nurtures a sense of ownership and responsibility among the communities. And through capacity building initiatives, entrepreneurship programs, and knowledge exchange, the Living Lab empowers communities to become the driving force behind sustainable fishing practices and alternative livelihoods. Collaboration and partnership. Okay, you hear some noise up there. So this was our recent field trip with second year marine science students. Where we worked with the local fishing community. This is, to be specific, in Kampung Pituru Laut in Kota Belu district. Just about a month ago already, right? Or half a month ago. So implementing the blue economy and the Living Lab approach requires collaboration and partnerships at various levels. Government, civil society, NGOs, academia, private sector organizations, and local communities must join forces to share knowledge, mobilize resources, and co-create solutions. The Living Lab serves as a catalyst for collaboration, fostering multi-stakeholder partnerships and international cooperation to drive collective action towards sustainable seafood security. So a bit of a background on UMS's Living Labs, or Makmal Hidup UMS. The Coastal Connection Living Lab is one of the 10 Living Labs initiated by the revered Vice Chancellor of UMS, Professor Datuk Kasim Haji Mansur, as UMS's 21st century Living Lab on Sustainable Development. The greater goal of the Living Labs is to help the nation develop its innovation landscape, which the country intends to make the main driver of its economic growth. While the model of a Living Lab has been around since the first decade of this century, UMS's Living Labs were only very recently officially launched in a solemn ceremony which was on the 5th of April this year, and slated to be the university's catalyst for innovation. The Coastal Connections Living Lab itself was established under one of the 4 clusters forming the university's R&D pillar, which is here. Oops, sorry. Just go back one. Yeah. Environment sciences. And through the Coastal Connections Living Lab, the university is investing in research and developing innovative solutions and even unlock opportunities for protecting and restoring our oceans. So now we move on to the mission and vision of the Coastal Connections Living Lab. So Sabah's coastal fishing communities are some of the marginalized communities with few basic infrastructures. So the vision of the Coastal Connections Living Lab is to build a vibrant and resilient coastal community that both support environmental conservation and socio-economic development, and to promote fishing practices that support healthy marine ecosystems, while simultaneously creating opportunities for sustainable livelihoods. And to achieve this, the Coastal Connection Living Lab aims to protect and restore our oceans by focusing on fisheries resource sustainability through community, socio-economic development, and work to realize 3 SDG Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which are SDG 2, Zero Hunger, SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, and SDG 14, Life Below Water. Offers a promising solution to address seafood security of the coastal communities, and this is an imperative task that requires concerted efforts from all the stakeholders. And by embracing sustainable fisheries management, rehabilitating marine coastal habitats, mitigating the impacts of destructive fishing practices, and coastal reclamation, promoting responsible aquaculture, enhancing value chains, and empowering coastal communities, through the Living Lab, we can build more resilient and sustainable future where the oceans thrive, communities flourish, and seafood security is assured for generations to come. And I would like to express our hope and optimism that the private sector will actively engage in this partnership for change. We call upon the private sector leaders to embrace their role as responsible corporate citizens and champions of sustainability. By investing in sustainable fishing practices, supporting habitat restoration initiatives, and promoting responsible business operations, the private sector can make tangible difference in safeguarding our oceans and securing the livelihoods of coastal communities. And by working hand in hand, we can ensure that our oceans continue to thrive, providing nutritious seafood, supporting vibrant ecosystems, and preserving the natural heritage of future generations. So with that, I thank you, and this is the current member of the advisory committee members of the Coastal Connections Living Lab, which are here myself here, and these are academics of the Borneo Marine Research Institute, but that is actually also dynamic, so we are looking at additional members for our immediate future projects. Contacts are all here, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Mabel. Let's give another round of applause to our speaker for that truly enlightening speech. Alright, now, ladies and gentlemen, we open the floor for Q&A session. If you have a burning question, now is the time to raise your hand and let your voice be heard. If you have any question, please do come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, do not let this chance miss. Students, yes, Mr. Roman, please come forward.
Hi, Dr. Mabel. I'm Roman from Year 3. Hello, guys. Good morning. My question will be, so it is a living lab whereby we are going to interact with communities, right? So how does the acceptance of community towards the changes or the new system that will be applied, that will be introduced to them? Let's say in industry. Sorry, I would like to repeat my question. Let me just adjust it a bit.
Okay.
So we are going to involve in communities and interact with them, and obviously we're going to introduce them a new system whereby we are going to introduce them with sustainable fisheries, for example. So far, how does the acceptance of the community towards these changes?
Okay. Thank you, Roman, right? Roman, for your question. Okay, as I mentioned, the things that we plan to do as a living lab approach, it's a, how can I say, it's tailor-made for a particular community. So we do have a framework that we based our work on, but it's based on the needs of the community that we have decided to work on. If you look at the pamphlet of the CCLL, Coastal Connections Living Lab, we actually stated that the living lab area is in the Tun Mustafa Park area, which is up north in Sabah, the marine protected area. However, we have not, this is based on previous work, we have not actually decided, okay, that we will do our first project there. But nevertheless, any coastal community that we choose, we will have engaged them together with other collaborators to find what are the issues, the primary issues that they face, and to tailor-made the solutions or approaches to tackle the issues that they have. So it's tailor-made. Different communities will have a different challenge or issues that they face. So although everyone have issues with food security, seafood security, but they may have other issues on why they are facing such seafood security. For example, IUU, illegal, unreported, what's the other U? Unresponsible fishing, okay, is rampant. Then we will see how to reduce. So what drives the IUU fishing? Another village might have the same seafood security issue, but probably due to other things like pollution from land-based industry. So that's a slightly different approach to how we deal with the problem. Hopefully that answers your question, yeah? Okay, good.
Question? Second question, anyone? All right, if no, I have a question, Doctor. May I? All right. Okay, Doctor, do you think how long for us to achieve a sustainable fishing in Malaysia? How long will it take to be?
Okay, very good question. We have heard, I have heard the problem of sustainability since I was an undergrad student myself. So it's, to say how long, no one really say. So that is why the approach of this, the concept of blue economy it's a comprehensive approach. You don't just look at one issue, but at a lot of issue, and then try to address these problems one at a time, I'd suggest. And it depends as well on the cooperation of the stakeholders, especially by those the communities who are at the forefront of this issue. So we come as using well from the academia, using the our technical know-how and our capability to collaborate with the other stakeholders, other government agencies, non-government agencies, the CSOs, even the private sector. We try to bring all these resources and address the issue. So I know a success story, just one success story, unfortunately, that has been we have actually seen in Sabah. So this is within the Tun Mustafa Park in Kudat area. So one community with open arms, open heart, they want to really change the future of the younger generations, and they fully adopt the recommendations. This is not by Universiti Malaysia Sabah, but what I know is the WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature Malaysia, and UMS is a collaborator in that project. So only when you accept change or want to change yourself, then you can see some changes. But if you expect someone else to do it for you, then you may not have the change that you want. Okay. Hopefully that's answer your question. Okay.
Do you have any question? And our online audience as well. If you have any question, you may ask it in the comment section as well. Yes, Mr. Sean, please come forward.
Morning, Doctor. I noticed that the value chain efficiency was mentioned. I would like to ask, are there any new approaches towards improving the value chain efficiency in the future, where it can also strengthen the relationship or collaboration, if you will, between the researchers and local fishermen? So that's my question.
Between researchers and fishermen. As I mentioned, there are more than one component of this collaboration. So there are several stakeholders. So what we aim is that the private sector, which has the financial capability, will actually lead in this eventually, and steward the effort of providing this value chain efficiency. So we from the academia will provide the expertise, the know-how, technical know-how, to what according to the need of the particular community. Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor, for the answer. All right, we will now accept the last question. Is there any other question from our audience and online audience? All right, if so, yes, Mr. Roman? Yeah, okay, please come forward.
Last question.
Yes, last question. Grab your opportunity.
Or you can write on a piece of paper if you're malu-malu. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor, for the sharing just now. We are going to further our 4th year as an internship. So I would like to ask if there's any opportunities in this living lab for us.
there will be opportunities, plenty of opportunities. However, due to university regulation, UMS student will have to go outside of UMS, right?
Yes.
So that's the thing. We will have opportunities for students from other universities. Yeah, so that's the university's regulation. We can't do anything about it. Unless, I think, if you're going to repeat some of your courses, and then you'll have to stay on campus, and then you can join us under the internship. Yeah. Thank you for the interest.
Thank you, Doctor, for all the answers, and also thank you all our audience for the question that you have asked. So once again, please, once again, give a round of applause to Dr. Mabel for the amazing talk. A moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the remarkable knowledge shared by Dr. Mabel, it is my great pleasure to introduce our second speaker, Dr. Muhammad Daud Shah. Dr. Daud is a senior lecturer at Borneo Marine Research Institute, Universiti Malaysia Sabah. He earned his master and PhD in biotechnology from the Biotechnology Research Institute, UMS, in 2011 and 2016. In 2011, he received the Excellence Award for his master outstanding research work and best postgraduate students. From 2014 to 2022, he received 4 gold and 3 silver medals for his research work. In 2021, he was the winner of the Malaysian-Croatia Technology Exchange and Malaysia Technology Expo 2021 awards for his innovation. He has more than 40 peer-reviewed international publications and has delivered oral and poster presentations at numerous international conferences and symposia. Dr. Daud has filed 2 patent applications and established a research group network both nationally and internationally. Besides, his research work has also been published in the printing media. Today, Dr. Daud will be sharing some insights regarding one of the most pressing issues of our time, marine pollution. Please welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chen, for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to the chairperson, Dr. Chong, for Ocean Celebration, Dr. Mabel and Dr. Madiha. My dear students, thank you for coming. I'm very thankful for giving me this opportunity to talk about one of the important threats that we are facing now, and I feel that very less we talk about and we discuss about this issue which we are facing. So this problem will not affect only our environment, but it's also have an impact on our lives and also on the marine species. So before talking, I came to this hall after almost 14 years. So yeah, I came first time in 2009 when I was a master student on 2nd of January. So I attended my methodology course here, so it brings a lot of memories. Yeah, so time flies very fast, and you are the future now. So maybe after 5 and 10 years, you are going to be presenting Universiti Malaysia Sabah. So we are going to start. Okay, so the topic that I'm going to discuss is about the, as you can see, a sea of change, promoting awareness and action on marine pollution. So what are the goal of today's talk? The main goal are that we are going to raise the awareness about marine pollution and then inspire action among the communities and society. We are going to find the causes of this problem and also to work on how to develop some effective strategies to minimize this problem that we are facing, and we'll also learn about some practical steps. These are, you can see, is the outlines of today's talk. So we are going to briefly discuss about the marine ecosystem, and then we are going to discuss about the pollution and the main causes of the pollution. So currently we are actually having three main causes. The first one is we are having a problem with the plastic waste, and then we have oil spill, and then the last one is the chemical pollutants. And we are going to shed some light on the environmental and economic implication, and also the major impact of the marine pollution. And then we are going to talk about the awareness, how to create the awareness in order to work out on this issue. And finally, we are going to discuss the role of IPMB in tackling this issue. As you know that our planet is consists of 70% of the water, and you know that this is very important for maintaining life on the surface. So marine ecosystem actually support diverse and various species. It is a source of food and livelihood for millions of peoples all around the world. And ocean can not only contribute to maintain the climate, but it also help in the production of oxygen. So all the carbon dioxide and the heat that we are producing into the environment is actually observed by the ocean. And then in terms of oxygen, as according to the study, from 50 to 80% of oxygen is actually produced by the oceans. Our trees are also on terrestrial sources, also they produce oxygen, but imagine the amount of oxygen that is produced by the sea is very high. So now you can see how crucial it is to have a healthy ocean for a healthy environment. So now talking about the marine pollution, the problem that we are facing, what is this? So any foreign substance or excess quantity of a substance that is introduced into the marine environment is coming under the category of marine pollution. They have adverse effects on the marine life and marine ecosystem. So discussing about the causes of the marine pollution, we majorly have three main causes. We have plastic waste, oil spill, and chemical pollutants. So we are going to discuss and to see how devastating effect it have on the environment, on marine environment. So talking about plastic waste, especially single-use item bottles and bag, they are causing a main problem, and they contribute to a significant portion of marine debris. 80% of the pollution is caused by the plastic waste. Imagine 80%. If we are able to control only the use of plastic, so we can minimize the marine pollution to 80%. So we will have only 20% left, which is easy to tackle. So imagine the biggest problem that we are facing nowadays due to marine in the form of marine pollution is a plastic. And then every year from 8 to 10 million metric tons of the plastic waste enter into the ocean. This is a huge amount. So what you can say that actually every 1 minute we are dumping off one garbage truck, we are dumping equal plastic, one garbage truck loaded with the plastic, and we are dumping into the sea. So we are here from morning from 9 o'clock till now. Imagine how many lorry we are dumping, how much of the plastic we are dumping into the ocean every minute. So now you can realize that how big problem we are facing now. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation actually predicted that in 2025 there will be more plastic in the ocean than the sea. This Ellen MacArthur Foundation is actually working for circulating economy, and it's working on recycling the plastic. So they are playing a very important role. So they have predicted that the problem is so huge that in 2050 we will be having more plastic in the sea than the fish. The Environmental Protection Agency also reported that nearly all the plastic that have been produced is still existing into the environment. So imagine the plastic that we produce from the first day is still existing in our environment. It's still there. And the worst thing is that we are keep on increasing it day by day, and day by day the production is also increasing because the demand is high. The reason is that because plastic need actually from 500 to 1000 of years to degrade. Even after this long term, it will not fully degrade it will change into macroplastics. So it means it will be still there. The only thing you cannot see it with your own eyes, but there is a small particle which is an so that can also be consumed by the marine organism. So currently the ocean hold actually 50 to 75 trillion pieces of plastic and macroplastics. Talking about Malaysia, unfortunately Malaysia is also one of the top 20 most polluting country. The plastic that they are introducing into the ocean via the rivers. So this is really alarming situation that we are facing in Malaysia also. But one of the good news is that Malaysia aims to phase out the use of single-use plastic product by 2030. I hope the government will make this step practically, and if we get rid of single-use plastic by 2030, so I think it will be a great achievement in order to minimize this big problem that we are facing. Now, what are the reason how this plastic actually end up into the ocean? What is the main reason? So one is the improper disposable. The plastic is actually not recycled. We use, but we don't have any alternative to use the plastic that we are producing. So what will happen? We are dumping off this plastic into the landfills, and then after that it reach via drain to the ocean. The second problem is the littering. Rain and water carry all this plastic from street to the river, and then eventually from river it disposes it off in the ocean. The third one is the drain and wastewater system. Again, the plastic and the microplastic, the fiber from household activities and washing clothes, all these dump off into the water system, and from there it move into the ocean. How does the plastic affect the marine life? So you can see that over 100,000 marine mammals are estimated to die due to marine plastic. Plastic poses various threats in the form of entanglement, injury, ingestion, and it depends on the size of the plastic. If larger size plastic, they have different kind of problem, and microplastic, they are posing different kind of threats. Now, what kind of species that are mostly affected? So some of the major species that are affected are whales and marine megafauna. Plastic entanglement into the ghost fish in Gerab harms the large marine mammals from blue whale to small crabs. So even the large and the small mammal and the crabs and other species, they are equally exposed to these threats. Around 300,000 whale, dolphin and other species die every year due to ghost gear entanglement. You can see in Filipino in 2019, one of the whale was found to be dead on the shore, and they found that 40 kg of plastic bag into the stomach, and predominantly the comprising plastics, the material they found is mostly consist of plastic bags. So these are the material they found into the stomach of the whale. The other species that is badly affected by the marine pollution is a sea turtle. So sea turtle actually confuse plastic bag with jellyfish, and they take them as a source of food, and mistakenly the fish net that they found, they take it as an edible seaweed, as these are the source of food, seaweed and jellyfish for the turtle. So they are consuming plastic as a food. So ingestion of the plastic lead to false fullness, and it result into starvation finally. The recent study have found that microplastic have been detected in the guts of all the 7 species turtle for Atlantic, Pacific and Mediterranean. So all the species that we have for the turtle is actually affected by the plastics, especially microplastics. The other species that is greatly affected are the seabirds. The seabird mistaken small plastic fragment on water surface for food. Ingestion of the plastic pieces result in starvation and suffocation. So seabird have been observed feeding plastic debris to their young one. Not only the seabird they feed on this plastic, but they are also feeding their young one with these macroplastics and this plastic pieces. So plastic is responsible for the death of millions of seabirds annually. Apex predators such as great white sharks and killer whale is also exposed to the macroplastic. They take the macroplastic has been introduced in their food chain. Macroplastic actually result in the accumulation of the toxic chemical in these predators, and killer whale in particular have been discovered with high levels of chemical deposit in their fatty tissue and breast milk. These microplastic are very small. Once these predators consume this microplastic, they start storing in their tissue, and they also reach to their fatty tissue and breast milk. So these big animals, they are actually feeding their babies with the milk which has already been infested by the macroplastics. So you can see how dangerous it is that not only the grown-up species are facing this problem, but the newborn babies are already exposed to these threats. Now this another problem that we are facing is the oil spillage. So as I mentioned, actually the main problem is the plastic that we are using, and it is causing 80% of the problem in the ocean. So much attention should be paid towards minimizing the plastic. And if you see, unfortunately, we all have share, maybe major and minor share in all these problems. We cannot put this blame on the companies that they are producing plastic, so that's why they should be blamed. So there is a demand and supply system. So unfortunately, all of us, we are involved to this, and we have to work on this. If not, we are like sitting on a time bomb, it is ticking. So it's really important to work on this problem and to solve this issue. Now the second problem that we are facing is, as I said, is the oil spill. So marine oil spill introduced petroleum hydrocarbons, which is causing harmful effects on marine life and ecosystem. Oil can poison or suffocate the surface dwelling animals and birds by affecting their buoyancy and also affecting the natural waterproofing of these animals, especially birds. The toxic chemical from oil present in the ocean for years. Once the oil spillage happen, it doesn't mean after 1 or 2 years the oil is going to degrade. No, they will stay there for a long time. And the worst case is that they will also affect the sediments, which is a house for 1,000 types of microbes. And these microbes play an important role in the decomposition, and they are playing an important role in returning the nutrient back to the marine environment. So you can see how devastating effect these oil have, not on the big animals but also on microbial level. So the major cause of the oil spill, that the first one is accident due to breaking of pipes, refineries or drill rigs. So they introduce the oil into the ocean. And then natural disaster like hurricane and earthquake also result in the damage of the oil resources, and because of it the leakage take place into the marine environment. And of course human activity, illegal dumping and act of war contribute to the release of oil into the marine environment. The impact that the oil spill have on marine life, the first one is that, as you know, that when oil spill took place, penetration of sunlight will not take place. If the penetration is not take place, then it will create a problem for the generation of the food. And then it would also affect the dissolving of the oxygen, which is also having a life-threatening effect for the aquatic life. It also affects the insulation and waterproofing property of the feathers and fur of the animal, which result into hypothermia. they also affect the reproductive ability of the animal. So if their reproductive ability is affected, it means they cannot prolong their offsprings, and it can affect their overall, it will affect the biodiversity and also the habitat. Juvenile sea turtles got trapped into the oil, and they use this oil as a food, and while dolphin and whales may inhale the oil and affecting their lungs, immunity and reproductions. So oil spill also cause significant damage to saltwater marshes and mangroves. So not only the animals are affected, but the surrounding plants are also affected. And if you are affected, as you know, that the mangroves, they are playing an important role in the filtering of the toxic and heavy metals. So if it is affected, it means they will not be able to filter the toxic heavy metal from the aquatic environment, so we will be having more trouble. This is the global oil spill trend. You can see that the number of the oil spill fortunately decreased. It was very high during 1970, but it decreased with the passage of time till 2010, and then after that the number further decreased. So this is a good news that we are having less oil spill now. One of the reason that the number of the oil spill decrease is because of the development of the technology, and they make strict rules so that the companies are more careful and the people are well trained now, so they can take care of all these accidents that took place into the past. So this will decrease. So what I want to say, if you put your effort, actually you can minimize the problem. So we have a problem with the oil spill in the past, but now it is minimized. But plastic is still growing at the same rate. And as I mentioned, that plastic is actually causing 80% of the problem. So if the government, if the people are serious and they raise their voice and they highlight this issue, that issue can be settled. So you can see there is a drastic change only from 1970 to 2010. Almost like to 2000, yes, to 2010, there is a drastic change, you know, from the reduction. So why not to do the same thing for the plastic? It is hardly like 40 years, you know, and then you can see such a drastic change. So the number decreased actually from 79, and it decreased to like 3 or 4 accidents, like 6 accidents per year in 2010, and I think now even it decreased further from 6 to more lower values. So some of the case study, the largest oil tankers, some of the case study that the largest oil spill happened into the history. So the first one was Tarikh Kenyan oil spill that took place in 1967, and the incident released, look at the amount, the quantity of the oil that they have introduced. It is 119 metric tons of the crude oil that is introduced into the English Channel, and then more than 2,000 seabirds were contaminated as a result of this incident. The second one is the Exxon Valdez oil spill that took place in 1989, and they have introduced, and they leak 11 million gallons of the crude oil into Alaska Prince William Sound, and the spill resulted in the mortality of marine animals and destruction of the habitats. And the third one just took place recently in Mexico, is a Deepwater Horizon oil spill. This is because of the explosion of the drilling rig, and this also introduced a large amount of crude oil into the marine environment, and millions of barrels of oil were released into the Gulf of Mexico. The spillage also caused damage to marine ecosystem, and which result in the loss of marine animal and contamination of the habitats. In Malaysia also we are facing a problem of oil spill. So what happened that the cleaning of the ocean vessel also contribute to the oil and sludge dumping into the coastal water, which cause pollution. Collision and grounding of the ocean going tankers into the same water also result into the spill. In 2017, the oil spill took place in Johor Bahru, where oil tanker have a collision with a container ship, and it result in the oil spill, which moved from Johor offshore to Singapore and affected the life of not only marine but also fishermen. Their equipment were damaged and they were not able. So this is, if I can play this video. Can we play the video? Okay. Can? Oh, okay, no problem. If you cannot play, it's okay. No problem. So, really sorry, there's a technical problem. We couldn't play. Yeah. So, this took place in 2017, and it you can see it affect the fishing gear of the local farmers, and they have a loss because of this incident. Now, the third problem that we are facing is in the form of chemical pollutants that is released into the marine environment. So the chemical pollutants are actually introduced from industry, aquaculture, sewage, atmospheric deposition, and improper waste disposable. So this is also one of the main problem that we are facing. And the chemical pollutants, as I mentioned, will not only affect the megafauna, but also it will affect the microbes. So, some of the common type is the oil petroleum that is produced, the heavy metal like mercury, arsenic, and pesticide, and chlorinated and chemical neutral nitrogen and phosphorus, and macroplastic that is causing actually the chemical pollution into the marine environment. Now, the major impact of marine pollution. So as I mentioned, that marine pollution is not only affecting the marine life, but it also affects the ecosystem, and finally it affects the human health. In marine life, it results in the entanglement into plastic debris, ingestion of the pollution, and destruction of the habitat. Ecosystem, it is affected, it will result in the decline of biodiversity and coral reef degradation and disruption of the food chain. How human health is infected when these marine organisms, when they are ingesting these macroplastic. So what happened, these macroplastic is not leaving the body of the marine organism, and these macroplastic will store into the tissue of these marine organism. So once they are stored, the human catch these marine organisms, fish, crabs, all of these organisms, and they are consuming. So actually we are taking that macroplastic from the ocean and we are introducing it in our bodies. So once we take in our body, then it causes problem in our body. You know, recent studies show that they took the placental cell, the sperm cell from a newborn baby, and they found the microplastic there. Imagine how dangerous it is, you know, that the newborn baby, before the baby is introduced into this world, is already infested with a macroplastic. And it reached to the placental cell, you know, and it reached to the stem cell. So it is really alarming, you know, for us. We are already putting ourselves in a big trouble, you know, the cause that we are having. And we are giving this problem to our new coming generation. So we have to really think about this issue. What is the environmental implication? As I told you, it affects the biodiversity, habitat destruction, and alter the food chain. We are actually consuming the contaminated food. For economical implication, as you can see, it will decline in a fishery. The more and more fishes they are exposed to this pollution, it will cause into the mortality of the fish, and overall it will affect in the reduction of the size of the fish and also the number of the fish. Tourism industry will be badly affected if the corals are damaged, if the beaches are dirty. You will not find the tourists to come to these places. So at the end we will be having small museum and we'll be showing all these pictures, but in reality these places will not be able to visit because of the pollution that we are putting on these. And then some of the example of the economic impact, the deep water horizon result in enormous economical losses. It affect the tourism industry and the cost for cleaning up all the oil. Similarly, in Great Barrier Reef, these are the famous tourist spot in Australia. We heavily depend on the tourists, but now the number of the tourists decrease because the coral and all the other marine environment are badly damaged by the pollutions. So which will also directly affect the revenue generation, and it will also affect the job of the people. Cleanup and restoration costs, as the government have to pay heavy fee for cleaning up all these oil spills or any other chemical, and they also have to pay the money in terms of compensation. So raising awareness, how can we create awareness in order to minimize? So the first one is education. We have to educate ourselves and we need to educate our surrounding. Spread the word, engage with the family, friend and community, share the article and start the conversation. Utilize the social media platform. We have a social media nowadays which is a very powerful tool, so we can use it, as you can use it for the entertainment, and we are sharing a lot of things which is actually not having any impact on the society. Sharing your plate of rice or any burger you are eating or any Starbucks coffee you are holding the picture, it will not make any big difference, but if we share some information which is related to the marine environment, I think it will make a big deal. So, and then create engaging content, infographic, video, poster, whatever you can create awareness, you can play your role into that. And to be volunteer for the cleanup activities, we can join beach cleanup, we can join underwater cleanup, we can volunteer for all these activity and support the conservation organization. If you cannot go for these, at least you can donate, sponsor or volunteer for early organization or NGOs that they are working. In Sabah, there are a couple of NGOs that they are working on reducing and creating awareness for the pollution, especially marine pollution. So we can be a part of that organizations. And then we can engage with the local authority and promote sustainable practices. So we have to reduce, this is the most important thing and the most easy one, is to reduce the single-use plastic and properly dispose the waste and support eco-friendly product. At least this is the least thing we can do, is to minimize the uses of the single-use plastic. And cooperate with the businesses and partner with the local businesses. So mostly the single-use plastics, you can cooperate with all these businesses to create awareness, to find the alternative instead of using the single-use plastic. Engage with the schools. We can engage and involve the children and create awareness, because they are the future of this country. So we can create awareness among the children, school children, and to address this issue. Now, how IPMB is tackling this issue of marine pollution. So Borneo Marine Research Institute is involved in this activity, and they have several strategic steps. So the first one, like one of the example, is this current ocean celebration. So this ocean celebration is also to promote awareness and appreciate the ocean, but also it is used as a platform for addressing marine pollution. And then we arrange talks and lecture in order to create awareness, like among the students and local community. And then we have conservation and restoration of the marine resources. You can see these are for coral restoration. Dr. Fikri and Dr. Chong, they were involved in the restoration of the coral, and this they are helping one of the NGO for this program. And this, I was talking to Dr. Chong, he said that this steps is very successful and they are enabled in blooming the corals. Yeah, so they were involved, I think around, they make a skeleton, a stainless skeleton, and they put the butt and then they introduce into the environment. So in one day, I think they, in 3 days, right? I think around 600 cages they put. So it is a very big project and very successful. So yeah, and you can see that they are not only doing this work, but they are also involving the locals. So this was near Kudat, right, Doctor? It's in Kudat. So slowly they are moving towards KK. So the credit goes to IPMB, Dr. Fikri and Dr. Chong. And then we are involved in educational services for the committee. This is the ocean celebration from last year, that last year we have celebrated. And in this was so big, the event, that it was organized in collaboration with the Navy also. And we have different NGOs that working for the environment. We have been involved in this activity. So this was a very good events. And then we are involved in beach cleanup. So Dr. Nur Zafira, she is involved mostly in working on microplastic, and they are actively involved in beach cleanup. They are collecting sample and do the analysis. And then we have the underwater removal. So I'm also involved in this activity. And last year we have 150 divers from all over Malaysia which took parts for the underwater cleanup. So I'm telling you, last year when we go for collecting the debris from the ocean, so what happened that we bring a lot of plastic for this Sampa plastic for collecting, but within 30-40 minutes we are out of plastic already. There is no more plastic to put this sampa inside. Just imagine the amount of sampa that you can find on this area. The only thing, if you cannot see it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It is there already. So all these things is really alarming. Even we work on one area, on one beach, we work for 1 hour to collect the sampa, and we want to take a picture before and after. We work almost 10 to 15 people were continuously working for 1 hour collecting all the sampa, and we took the picture. We still cannot see any difference. We cannot see any difference after 1 hour. Imagine the amount of sampa that is found on these beaches. It's huge, great, yeah, the amount is tremendous. So I want to tell you that it really needs an effort. It needs an effort in order to minimize. It cannot be done in 1 day or 2 days. The problem is existing for a very long time. So it also needs very long time to solve it. So the more we delay, the more we are actually creating trouble for ourselves. So that's it. So these are some of the references that I took the information. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dawood, for enriching our event with your remarkable presence. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now open for Q&A session. Without any further ado, I would like to invite our first question. Please raise your hand and come to the front. Don't be shy. Anyone, please? And also from our online audience, if you have any question, you may ask it in the comment section. Yes, please.
Thank you, doctor. Nervous. Okay, I have a questions because a major problem for the pollution is from the plastic, right? Okay, so do you think that if we are using the biodegradable plastic is a better, is the same, no, I mean, is using biodegradable plastic will cause the same effect to the ocean as the, biodegradable plastic will degrade faster than regular plastic, right? So if you think it is, do you think that our government should enforce any law that making sure that any factory using biodegradable plastic for the packaging or anything that include plastics? That's all. Thank you. My name is Ruth.
Okay, Roof. Thank you very much, Roof. Yeah, of course, biodegradable plastic, as the term shows, biodegradable, it will make a huge impact. It will be degraded and it will not have any devastating effect. So, as you said that the government should impose the rule, in my opinion, the first step that the government should do is to ban it completely. You ban it, people will find the alternative. But you see, when the COVID was imposed, very fast we find the vaccine. This is human nature. Because once you put pressure on them, they will work for it. But if the COVID is not there, I'm telling you, this vaccine will take 100 years to come. Because they don't feel the need. So the government should put strict rules and impose these rules. Once you impose this rule, there will be company who will start working for the production of the biodegradable plastic. Some of the people say that we are not going for biodegradable plastic because it is costly. But as I'm telling you, once the government put the pressure, the people will find the alternative and they will work. So more responsibility is also coming, of course, on government. But if the government is not doing its job, it doesn't mean we can sit and we have an excuse to say that, oh, the government is not doing, so we cannot do. So in the first case, what we can do, at least we can minimize the use of the plastic. And unfortunately, everything is having a plastic. If you look around, you can find plastic. And it got worse with this home delivery for the food supply. We have Panda, we have all. They make it more worse because the plastic is keep on coming to your house. 3 times a day you order food, you have 3 times. Last time if you're eating in a restaurant, you're using that plate, it will be washed. Now everything is disposable, so they are coming more. And in terms of the mask we are using, it further create more trouble. Imagine how much more fiber and plastic we are dumping off into the sea. So yeah, I think biodegradable is a good option, but it needs a serious action to be taken in order to make it practical.
Open to the second question. Anyone? Please raise up your hand. Don't be shy. Any questions from our audience here and also our audience online? Okay, if no, I would like to ask a question, Doctor. May I? Okay. Doctor, I've read something about the bacteria as one of the solution in degrading plastic. Do you think that it will be in the future, will it be a solution for this plastic? Aside from, of course, we need to minimize the usage, will it be one of the options for us to reduce the plastics completely, like solving the problem?
Yes, actually, you're right. They're working on microbes, which is causing the degradation of this plastic. But that research is not that much rapid that the microbes are this much fast that the amount of plastic we introduce and they will vanish it like that. That is also among the alternative, but in my opinion, that process was also very slow, and it is in the stage in the research stage. It is not fully implemented yet, that one. But that can be also one of the alternative among so many. But in order to minimize, as I said, you have to work greatly on finding alternative, and to get rid of the current situation is to recycle the plastic and work on these things. So you can also work on the other side also to find any microbes or any other source to go for the degradation. But even microbial degradation, I think the amount of plastic we produce will not compete with the rate to degrade this plastic. Yeah.
Doctor, for the answers. Anyone, please, do you have any question, please? Year 2 student? Come on, guys. I know you have a lot of questions in asking. Don't be shy. Come on, come on. Yes, please. From our audience online, if you have any question too, you may post it in the comment section. One last question. We are receiving, if no. Alright, here you come.
My name is Liu. So my question is, there's a lot of cleanup activities doing in the islands and those coastal areas. May I know usually how they dispose the rubbish and the plastics from the beach? They're collecting everything. How they dispose the rubbish, the plastics or the disposed items?
Okay, thank you, Liu. First of all, there's not much activity going actually. The activity is very less for cleaning up. And then secondly, as you said last time when you go for island, if they collect the plastic where they are going to dispose it off, that is also an issue. So what they do actually, DBKK, they are actually helping in some coastal area nearby to take all these plastic that the people are collecting. So they also don't have a proper system there to dispose of. So that need also to how to train the people to not only collect, but another thing we have to dump off all these plastics. So currently when I was working with one NGO, so they have collaboration with DBKK, so they will provide all this for Sampa collection, the plastic, and then from there it will be handed over to DBKK, or it will be collected at one place and after that they will come and they will take. But even DPKK, as you know, they don't have a lot of facilities. Even for them it is difficult to take care of the residential area. Somehow they go to even our Sampa, it takes like times to come and collect, so it's very difficult for them. But in my opinion, the best way is to look for a sort of recycling. There should be some companies that are involved, so those companies will definitely look for it and they will take. For example, last time when I was studying in Pakistan, they have some companies that they will pay to the local to find the plastic. So the people will definitely, when money is involved, people will go and find the plastic and then they will sell it to the company. The company will melt it and they will call beads. They will make small pieces of the plastic, and those plastic will be used by another company for making different utensils, like different plastic pots and all this kind of thing will be used. So if you involve this kind of industries, then I think the process will be speed up, rather than you only educate the local but they are having no benefits from it. So this will be much better if you can do something for the local community, especially coastal areas. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor, for the answers. And thank you all our attendees here for the question. So once again, please give a round of applause to Dr. Dawood. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, please rise to sing the university song Bertekad Cemerlang. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. With this, we have reached the end of this extraordinary morning. We hope you have been inspired by the incredible and fruitful moments we shared today. We extend our sincerest appreciations to all the speakers, organizers, and volunteers who work tirelessly to make these ocean celebrations occur. Before we bid you farewell, we would like to remind you to stay connected and follow us on social media for any updates on upcoming events. Once again, we would greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to provide us with your feedback. This form will allow us to record your attendance for IDP and SDP point for both staff and students. You may find the form by scanning the QR displayed on the screen. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin this grand celebration, let us cherish the beauty of the ocean, respect their fragility, and embrace the profound responsibility we hold in protecting our ocean. Together, let us create a future where the rhythmic dance of tides and vibrant life of the ocean continue to inspire and nurture the generations to come. On behalf of the entire Ocean Celebration 2023 team, thank you for joining us this morning, and once again, I'm Chan, honored to be your MC today. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. You are free now.